We're in the process of testing and fixing applications for Windows Vista. Do we have to go through all that work again for Windows 7? This screencast answers that question. It's always a best practice to understand how updates to the operating system affect application compatibility. Windows 7 is no different, but our goal is to minimize that impact so that you have less work. We made major changes in Windows Vista to limit how much control apps could have over the operating system for a security and reliability perspective. Those continue in Windows 7. Let's take an example of a line of business application that's very broken, and recoding is no longer an option. I'm going to use the technology that we ship with the Application Compatibility Toolkit to put a shim database, which is a layer between the application and the operating system, against that broken application, and then we're going to fix it to show that the application is working. We're going to take those fixes that we made in the Windows Vista time frame, and we're going to transport those over to a computer running Windows 7. I'm just going to open the Stock Viewer application in Windows Vista. You need to be an administrator to run Stock Viewer, and that's a big problem that a lot of customers complain about, user account control. You have to have elevated administrative rights for a lot of applications to run like this one does. Like we already saw, this application was really poorly written. I want to remind most people that likely 80% of the enterprise applications are going to work in Windows Vista. But it's this 20%, the really bad ones like this one, that will need some mitigation. The best thing to do is to get a compatible version or recode the application to run without assistance. For cases when that is not possible, we can use a compatibility fix or a shim. What we can do is install our pre-built custom shim database for the application. I built it for Windows Vista. This is stockviewer.sdb. Let's have a quick look at that. You've got your compatibility fixes for all of the applications that are nested underneath Stock Viewer. These are the things that are going to make the application run as it's supposed to run. Now we're going to install that and relaunch our Stock Viewer application. The first thing we're going to see is there's no problem with administrator rights. You don't need to be an administrator to run the application now. Everybody is probably asking, is this going to work in Windows 7? For customers that have spent 18 months, in some cases, getting their application ready, are those fixes going to apply to Windows 7? Let's apply this same fix to a computer running Windows 7 and see what happens. We're going to take that same application shim database that we developed in the Windows Vista timeframe and see if those fixes apply to Windows 7. Right away you can see that the shim has been recognized by Windows 7. Everything is as it was on the computer running Windows Vista. Now let's run our Stock Viewer application again. So the first thing you saw, or didn't see, was there is no administrator prompt. Let's open our Trends view. Now that worked as planned as well. Great, we've got the application working. All of the investments we made in Windows Vista to get this application running, and in this case a very broken line of business application, are applying to the computer running Windows 7. All of that work is carried over.